Well, what's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today we're talking about the game plan for this upcoming game, okay? Going up against the Packers, and I got to say, I feel like most Colts fans probably feel pretty good about this one, right? Malik Willis is a quarterback for the Packers, and this isn't going to be the pregame preview. This is just for the game plan. What do I think the game plan should be defensively? What should it be offensively? That's what we're talking about here today. So make sure you subscribe with notifications on as we continue to go through the week, and we're going to have game plan videos every single week. And here, as I look through the Packers, I've watched plenty of Packers games in the LaFleur era, kind of like the Packers. And so they're a team that I just kind of pay attention to, see whether they're winning or losing. And, under LaFleur, obviously, they've been a good team. They have a new defensive coordinator this year, which I think will bode well for us. Now, again, Jordan Love is out, which is certainly helpful. I have feared going up against Jordan Love because he can throw the ball all over the yard. He has, this Packers team has weapons for sure. They don't have any like bona fide number one, but they're doing a good job of stacking the talent at the wide receiver position. So, good thing Jordan Love's not going to be there this upcoming week. And when I look at it like from our defensive perspective, because they have the weapons they do on offense, you just have to make sure they don't get the ball in their hands and have room to run. And that's the fear for me, is because that's kind of what Gus Bradley's defense does, right? It's keep everything in front of you, rally to the ball, make the tackle. Well, it's not always that easy, right? They have guys like Christian Watson, very quick. A guy like Jaden Reed, who's shifty, he's quick, great with the ball in his hands. Romeo Dobbs, who is okay with the ball in his hands. He's more of a Alec Pierce, right? Doesn't get the ball in his hands and try to run a whole lot. It's more, make a catch, good distance down the field, and go about your day. So they have different things that they can depend on these guys for, right? Christian Watson, deep threat, but also great with the ball in his hands. Jaden Reed, same. So they also have Dontavian Wicks, who's coming on. He's a depth piece for them, but somebody that has gotten high praise. So their depth at wide receiver is good. They have Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave at tight end. So we just can't let these guys get the ball in their hands and be able to run wild. That's the fear, right? And you have to pay attention to Malik Willis and the run game from that perspective, right? They also have Josh Jacobs, who we've played plenty, right? We play the Raiders pretty much every year. Josh Jacobs has been there. We've played him plenty. Zaire Franklin, Josh Jacobs, Zaire Franklin mentioned how that's one of his favorite people to go up against because he's a dog. So we know Josh Jacobs is going to come in. Malik Willis, they're going to run that option game, the RPO game, try to get the ball out of Malik Willis' hands quick and have quick, easy decisions. That's what they want from Malik Willis, especially for what we know of him and his career. So the key is going to be getting after Malik Willis. Just make Malik Willis make uncomfortable decisions. Pardon the interruption. I just want to let you guys know how much I appreciate you stopping by the channel. And I also want to say that when I look at the analytics, 50% of the people that come by and watch this channel are not subscribed. So as Peyton's telling you to do here, hit that subscribe button right now. Turn those notifications on so you get notified when any videos come out. Now, if you need any further proof of why you need to subscribe, when you look at the numbers, 62.4% of the views on this channel over the last month have come from people that are not subscribed to the channel. So again, if you're one of those people, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you so much. And let's get back into the video. Is really all you need to do, right? And this is one where you want to, kind of like what we talked about last week, except again, this is going to be more of an attack. Last week it was you don't want to let CJ Stroud break the pocket and make plays, which he was able to do, and it had a huge effect on the game. And so this week, it's not so much about Malik Willis getting out and being able to make plays because he's not that kind of quarterback, but it's about not letting Malik Willis get away from the rush. Right, we need it's just attack, attack, attack all day long. Try to put as much pressure on him as humanly possible. Start to get those guards in the center to back up into his lap a little bit. He's going to get happy feet, right? Coming off the edge. I think coming from his blind side, I think there's a chance that in this game, Latu finally gets a sap and we see him get a strip sack. It really wouldn't surprise me in this game. I think, that offense is going to be vulnerable without Jordan Love, and I think we have a defense that can take advantage of it. It's just is there going to be adjustments from week 1 to week 2? What's going to happen at corner with Juju Brent's out? Who else is going to step in there? I feel good about Jalen Jones, but right, we don't really play man, so it's not like Jalen Jones is going to be following. We don't really have a number 1 corner, right? Because of the defense we play. So we just need guys that play the system well, and can we get somebody that's going to step in and play well enough to feel good about winning this game, or at least holding the Packers away from scoring enough points that our offense can get the job done, right? This one's going to be in Lambeau, so weather could end up playing a factor right now on NFLweather.com. It's supposed to be 77 with a chance of rain showers. It says 29 on this website, only 5-mile-per-hour winds, so pretty standard there for a regular Sunday. So, honestly, good football weather, great football weather. So coming into this game with the 29% as I check up on that, I just don't know if weather's going to play a factor. So should be a pretty clean game here. You just, again, defensively can't let these guys get the ball in their hand and do whatever they want. And with Josh Jacobs, can our run defense go back to being what it used to be, right? Last year or over the last few years, really, because we have Grover Stewart, because we have DeForest Buckner, and, we had Shaq, now we have Zaire Franklin. Like, our run defense has been the great part of our defense. We could rely on that. We can't let 156 yards happen again. We just can't let that happen. So, coming into this game, we got to be able to stop Josh Jacobs, okay? Got to be able to stop Josh Jacobs. If we're able to stop the run game and we get the Packers in a lot of, like last week, we had the Texans in like 8 different 3rd and long situations. So I think if we can have the run defense be good enough to get the Packers in a lot of 3rd and long situations, then that bodes well for us. Chance for more turnovers. When Malik Willis has to throw the ball, it's better for us. We have to get them in as much passing situations. So defensively, especially early, we have to jump on them. Keep them off the scoreboard, and that's where our offense comes into. Offense has to get a fast start. Can't have slow starts. That's what we did last year. We had quite a few slow starts and then got it rolling. This year, game 1, slow start, right? If you take out that 60-yard touchdown, 65-yard touchdown to Alec Pierce, then the offense, like the way that offense started through the game, I mean, terrible. We would have been in huge panic mode as Colts fans if it wasn't for having that one touchdown for most of the first half there. So, I think that the offense obviously had to come in. They got to clean some stuff up. Anthony Richardson, again, still basically in his rookie year, so just minimizing the mistakes on the offensive end, right? Just don't do anything crazy. There's going to be a test for our offense this week as they go against Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary. But what we need to do this week, okay, is we need to run. Now, we didn't really run a whole lot of plays, period, last week, but we need Jonathan Taylor to be more involved in this game. Got to run the ball better. Obviously, when Jonathan Taylor starts going, it's going to help Anthony Richardson, and it's going to help him start going. And we saw the dynamic, with those two, and it wasn't exactly as fruitful as we thought it might be, just like Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Just to make a comparison, we all watched that game. It was the first NFL game of the season. And, Lamar Jackson had a great game, presumably because of the threat of Derrick Henry getting the ball. But Derrick Henry not very involved in the offense, really. So, and then for us, Jonathan Taylor, not as I think he has 16 carries for 48 yards. Like, you got to get him more involved, especially in this game. Coming up against the Packers, when you look at their team, their secondary is good, which is why we need to run the ball. They have Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, Kason Nixon. So, they're good in the secondary. They're the team that signed Xavier McKinney, right? We were hoping to get Xavier McKinney. Ends up going to the Packers, and he had an interception in his first game with the Packers. So secondary is very good for the Packers. So that's another reason we need to get the run game going. But where you see it, like as I sit here and like look at the depth chart, right? They have Preston Smith, they have Rashawn Gary, and they have Kenny Clark, and they have some good depth pieces. I don't want to take anything away from these guys, right? T.J. Slayton, Devontae Wyatt, Lucas Van Ness. These guys aren't terrible, but I just think as the game goes on, right, you just pound them with the run, pound them with the run. You have JT, as we go into the fourth quarter, JT has 18 carries. AR has run the ball, 7 or 8 times. And now these guys are tired from trying to chase our guys around. They're beat up from how physical the game has been because we're running the ball. So if we can have success running the ball going into the fourth quarter, we'll be able to do whatever we want. I don't think they have the depth to maintain long term, which is what that's the story of the Packers over the last few years, right? The run defense just isn't there, and a lot of it is because of that, because they don't have the depth, and because they don't have the depth, as games go on, the good running backs are able to have their way. So that's what we need to do in this game. Offensively, it's about physicality, winning in the trenches, which is a lot of games, winning in the trenches, but being physical, more physical, taking the game to the Packers. We need to dictate how this game goes, right? Again, because they have Malik Willis on their offense, we need to dictate. We cannot let them be able to dictate the pace of the game. Now, again, Gus Bradley, his scheme, and the bend don't break, keep everything in front of you. It helps other teams keep drives alive. It'll give guys confidence. It'll give them a chance to get in a rhythm and to expose something, right? They're going to take what the defense gives us until we think they're going to do something, and they hit a double move and hit it deep with Christian Watson. So, overall, really more worried about the defense than I am the offense in this one for obvious reasons. Defense, once again, not great. Juju Brents is out. We'll see what happens with the DeForest Buckner injury by the time this video comes out. That news has probably already come out, but I'm at my day job, so can't really talk about it. So coming into this one, that's the game plan, right? On defense, get after Malik Willis and make him very uncomfortable. You make him make quick decisions, make him make split-second decisions, and make him uncomfortable. We should end up with some turnovers in this game and stopping Josh Jacobs. The run defense can't be as terrible as it was last week. We got to get back to being the aggressors. We cannot let another team go for 150 yards with their star running back. We just can't do it, okay? And Josh Jacobs is a good one. Didn't look great last week, admittedly, for the Packers. Had a couple of decent runs in the second half that helped his numbers, but overall, not a great day last week, or this past week for Josh Jacobs against the Eagles. Hopefully, our defense come in, be aggressive, and have the same outcome. And then obviously, don't just let the receivers get the ball in their hand and take off running all over the place. And then for the offense, just run the ball, man. Win in the trenches, run the ball, dominate. Offensive line played well, protected very well in terms of pass protection against the Texans. But in the run game, again, Jonathan Taylor ends up with 16 carries, 48 yards. So we got to be able to open some things up for Jonathan Taylor so he can do his thing, right? It's a team game. Everybody has to do their job. And we have to do a much better job executing in this game. That's really what it comes down to, is execution, right? I even saw a play of Will Fries, where Will Fries on the 2-point conversion, if Will Fries had just put in more effort and had put his hands on the guy that tackled Jonathan Taylor would have had a walk-in touchdown if Will Fries just touches a guy. But there wasn't enough effort there, and we end up losing by 2 points. That game probably should have went to overtime. So, it's small things like that, man. Being able to execute, you got to have the effort, and you got to be able to execute to be able to win these games. So that's my thought on the game plan for offense, for defense. Of course, I want to know what your opinion is on both of these things. What do you think we should do? How do you think the offense should get the job done? How do you think the defense should get the job done? Whatever you're thinking, you let me know down in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on as we continue to have more content every single day on this channel. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.